Hey everybody, welcome back to my studio. In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how I painted this fall tree in watercolor. I used this reference image, which is a tree in my backyard. I took a picture of it. You'll see when comparing the reference image to the painting, I simplified the background quite a bit. I wanted the tree to stand out and make it look like it was against a blue sky, so I simplified that. All right, let's jump into the painting. I used 8 colors in this painting. I will name them one by one as I begin to use them. Right out here at the beginning, I'm using 2 yellows, Hansa Yellow Light, which is PY3, and Cadmium Yellow, which is a mixture of PY35 and PO20. I'm starting from my lightest colors and then getting a little darker. So I start with that mixture of yellow. Now I'm bringing in my Pyrrol Scarlet. This is my warmest red that I have on my palette. It's PBr25. And again, I'm really painting from the lightest colors I see. I'm trying to retain some light highlights in there. I'm just painting, generally speaking, the general shape of the foliage of the tree. Here's that reference image again. You can kind of see the shape of the tree, and I'm just trying to paint that. Okay, now I'm going to grab another color. This is my Quinacridone Rose PV19. As you look at the reference image again, you can see there's, in addition to the yellows and the oranges, there are quite a few leaves that are really a reddish pink color. So I want to bring in a cooler red. That's my Quinacridone Rose. And mixing that up here on my palette. And again, with my big brush, I'm using a Princeton Neptune Quill number 6, which is a large-bodied brush with a fine point. This kind of brush works really well with the techniques I'm using here. I want a large-bodied brush that holds a lot of water and pigment while also retains a very fine point. You can see here using kind of almost a pointillism style here, putting down lots of patches of color using the fine tip of the brush. Next, I'm going to grab some of my red-brown, which is a Magello color, PBr25, and I'm going to now, with the fine tip of that brush, put in the trunk and limbs that I see in the reference image there. I want to establish the foreground here, and so I'm going to use also some of my yellow mixture and put in the light-colored leaves that I see at the base of the tree. I'm allowing the paint to just blend and charge into the other colors. Again, I'm attempting a real loose style here, not too worried about exactly representing what I see in the picture, but looking for a more impressionist and loose style. Again, the tip of the brush comes in handy here now to get some of those, that look of grass there along the base of the tree. Now I'm going to add some more cool colors to the base of the tree. I've just taken some French Ultramarine and mixed it in with that Quinacridone Rose. I see in the reference image what almost looks like a little bit of a purplish color in that area at the base of the tree, and I want to bring in that cool color. So mixing up blue and that red do that for me here. Next, I mix up my ultramarine blue with my Hansa Yellow Light to get a green shade. I see again in my reference image some darker greens, some ferns and that kind of thing behind the lighter yellow areas. And so I want to create some contrast between the real front foreground foliage and those plants that are a little bit further back, using the tip of my Quill number 6 brush and just putting in some impressions of that dark foliage behind the tree. Okay, and now I'm just going to let this painting dry. This is my first wash. I'm going to let it dry completely before I go on to the next step. Now I've mixed up my French Ultramarine with some burnt umber. That's PBr7. This is a classic mixture if you want to create an almost black color. It's a beautiful mixture. The blue and the burnt umber create just a really nicely granulating dark color. I'm using that for all the limbs in the tree. So wherever I see some kind of space in between the foliage that I put down previously, I'm just going to give the impression of limbs being revealed in those spaces. and really try to be faithful to the structure of the tree, where I would most likely see limbs and all poking through. Again, I'm looking back to my reference image to see where those limbs are and using the tip of the brush to put those into the painting. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so you can see this next few steps. Again, I'm finishing painting in the limbs with my mixture of blue and burnt umber. Now I'm taking some very thick application of my quinacridone rose first and just emphasizing some of the darker areas of foliage in the tree. Again, I'm painting now wet on dry. The previous painting in the tree has already been dried completely. And I want to take this thicker paint now and put it over the top of it. Now I'm using my yellow mixture, and again also just putting a nice, more opaque application of the paint. Here I'm mixing that same yellow up with my red, getting more of an orange color. And this is going to give a variegated look to the tree, a variety of colors, one color overlapping another, giving a real nice effect to the tree foliage. Lastly, I'm going to mix up my quinacridone rose with my French Ultramarine, creating a purple color here, and go back and create more of a contrast of values in the foreground. Again, if you look at that reference image, you see there's some real dark areas there at the base of the tree, and I want to emphasize that a bit more against the colors that I already put down previously. So I'm painting wet over dry and emphasizing some of the shadows in that foreground foliage. The last step in this painting now is to do my background sky. I'm taking my French Ultramarine. I've got a smaller brush now. This is a silver black velvet round 12 brush. And just using the edge of that brush, I am giving a hint of blue sky. I'm not really worried about painting the entire area up there blue, but coming in close to where the edge of the tree foliage is, just coming around there and just giving a hint of blue, using the edge of the brush to kind of pull that away from the tree, again, creating that impression of blue sky. I'm not really worried about painting the entire area. Once I let all of that dry, I'm ready to remove the tape, and my painting is done. I added my signature in the lower right corner, and there you go, a fall tree painted in a loose impressionist style. I hope you've enjoyed watching this watercolor tutorial as much as I've enjoyed making it. If so, please consider subscribing to my channel. I put out new videos like this about once a week. And do you have other subjects that you'd like to see me paint? If so, please leave your suggestions in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.